Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Raj Technologies. In the last sessions, we have discussed about in day 1, computer fundamentals and the introduction of C. In day 2, we have seen the structure of C program. And in last class yesterday, we have discussed it with C basics like the meaning of comments, keywords, variables, and data types, and how to declare a variable. And even I have given the introduction of printf function, which we call it as standard output function, used to display messages or the value of variables onto the screen. So today, let us go with the practical part. In order to show the practical of C programs, we require a IDE. We are going to make use of IDE. Like in our case, we are going to make use of developer C++. So first of all, we'll understand what is this IDE. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. IDE stands for what? Integrated Development Environment. The need of going with IDEs is IDEs are used to develop applications very easily and rapidly. And the IDEs popular C IDEs are like we are having developer C++, even we call Dev C++. So when you take C++, we can even write C language programs. Then we are having Turbo C++. We can write the code in Eclipse also. We can use Eclipse. We can go for Visual Studio Code like this. So in our case, I'm going to make use of developer C++. Then how to get this developer C++ is you can download this developer C++ by searching in Google Dev C++ download. Let me show this. Open search engine like Google. Open search engine like Google. And you can search for Dev C++ download. The first link what you are getting from this source force, you can click on this Dev C++ download. This is the URL we can use to download this developer C++ that I already have provided over here. Then in this page, you can find the download button. So when you click on this download button, the download is going to start shortly. And once the file is downloaded, we need to run that application. Just to see here, the file got downloaded. Just we need to run this application. Just to click on this file, it's going to run this application. Simple installation. Next, finish. Simple installation. It's not a complex one. Simply we have to click next, and finish button. So already I've done this part. In my case, let me open developer C++. In search for Dev C++. Here, this one. Once you click on this, it's going to open the developer C++. So this is how it looks. Now, in this developer C++, whenever you want to create a new C language program, see here I can see the menu file edit like this. Go to file and say new source file. What we have to say? Go to file and say new source file. Now start writing the code. Let me write like this. To display welcome message onto the screen. Now, so what is the entry point to run a C program? Main function. So main function is compulsory here. So go with main. Then open and close curly brace. If I want to display a message in C language, what we use? Printf. So just say printf, and the message should go within double quotes. And every statement should end with semicolon. Here we have to end with semicolon. Now save this file. Save. It will ask you to save the file. Let me save it in our system. I'm going to save it in C drive 2026 C language, and let me create one new folder here, C programs. I'm creating a folder C programs. In this folder, let me save the file. I'm saving it as welcome.c. The extension what we give for C language program is .c. Save it. Click on save button. Now the file is saved. Now once we are having source code, what is our next step? We have to convert into machine understandable format, object code. So that is a place where we use compiler. Compiler is used to convert our source code into object code. See here, in which folder we are working? In C drive 2026 C language C programs. See, we are having one file welcome, and it is see the name C source file. Now let me compile the program. So come back to developer C++. How to compile is, come to this execute. You can see the option compile. Function key F9, keyboard shortcut function key F9. Once you compile, if there are no errors, then it's going to create a file say welcome application. So this is .exe file. The extension will be .exe. So this file only we call executable file, the object code. So that is the role of compiler. Compiler will convert our source code into object code. So this is our object code. Now, once we compile, we have to run the program. How to run? Same. Come to execute, and you can see the option run. So when you choose this option run, keyboard shortcut F10. See, it's going to open a screen and showing the result. See, welcome. So this screen only we call output screen. The output what we display to the end users, that only we call output screen. So on our output screen, what message it is displaying? Welcome. If you press any key, it will go back to your developer C++ back here. Clear how to develop a program in developer C++? So we'll be keep on using this developer C++ till end of our course. Right? Any questions? No. Now let me delete this object code application. I'm deleting this application. Now come back to this developer C++ and let me do some mistake here. I'm removing semicolon. And what is the point we discussed? Every statement in C language should end with semicolon. But I have removed semicolon, and let me save this file. You can even click on this save button, Ctrl S you can use. Now let us compile. Come to execute and compile. See, it's going with errors here. It's saying say expected semicolon. Expected semicolon. Now will it create the object code? See, no, it is not creating the object code. So that is the point what I mentioned. The compiler converts source code into object code at a time. Meaning, if there are errors in your source code, the object code will not get generated. If there are no errors only, then only at a time it's going to generate the object code. Now see, we are rectifying that error, and let me save it and let me compile now. Execute, compile. See now, you can see the object code has been generated. So what is the meaning of compiler? Compiler converts our source code into object code at a time. Now, we can even, instead of this developer C++, we can make use of even online compilers. We can even make use of what? Online compilers. So let me show that also. Open browser and search for in Google, open Google and search for C online compiler. Search for what? C online compiler. So you can go with any compiler. I'm going with the first one, program as it. So here you can find the codes here. So this is the URL you can use to open online compiler. So here only that code will be there, and if you just run here, we are going to see the output here only. See here, the output is coming. Let me change the printf statement. I'll say something like hello world. And just to click on run, it's going to show the output immediately. But the thing is like just we can type the code and run the code directly. But we cannot save these files. So if I want to take this code, we have to share it and take the code. Right? So and we'll be keep on getting the advertisements also. Those are the drawbacks here. So instead of this, I'm going to make use of what? Developer C++ to write our C language programs. Now, so that's the introduction about how to use developer C++ or you can make use of online C compiler. Now, let me just recap this standard output function so that we can start using the printf function. So what is this standard output function? What is that? Printf. Printf is the standard output function which is used to display messages or the value of variables or both onto the screen. Right? And what is the syntax I discussed? The syntax of going with printf is only to display messages. Just we have to use the printf function and the message should go within double quotes. Like example, you can say printf hello world, printf welcome, like this. So how to use this printf function? Just you can say printf and the message should go within double quotes. And since this printf function is present in a header file called as stdio.h, that we need to include, that optional. Including this stdio.h is optional. So this only we call linkage section. So whenever we are using printf function, the code of this printf function is available in this stdio.h. So we are linking this function to this file. So it will go to this file and takes the code. That's the reason this is called as linkage section. Now, I want to display one more message. Printf C is a structured programming language. C is a structured programming language. Now compile this. Go to execute and say compile. Then the code is compiled. Now go to execute and say run. Now see, we are getting C. Welcome. C is a structured programming language. But observe, after welcome immediately it is displaying C is structured programming language. But I want to display in the new line. So if I want to display in new line, we can make use of slash. How many slashings we say? That many gaps we are going to get. So slash in is for new line. Now see, once we save and say come to execute, and you are even having the option say compile and run. Even if you click here, the code will get compiled and it's going to run the code also. Both the options at one place. See here, welcome, and see this C is structured programming language we are getting in the new lines. Since I have set two slash-ins, it's giving two gaps to us. So what is the use of slash-in? Slash-in is to go for new line. Slash-in is for new line. Now, I'm writing a slash-in. Slash-in means new line. Now, one more sentence. To display the value of variables. To display the value of variables. Now for this we have to say printf and we have to go with the format specifiers. Format specifiers within double quotes and say comma and the variable list like variable 1, variable 2 like that, variable Like example, if you take the variable like int a equal to 10, float b equal to something like 3.14, cat c equal to some p. Now we want to display value of these variables. Now, so in this one, what is the meaning of this format specifiers? So based on the data type, we have to use the format specifiers. Like for integer, the format specifier is %t. For character, the format specifier is %c. For float, the format specifier is %f. And for string means collection of characters, the format specifier is %s. Now, here we are having three variables, a, b, and c. Now I want to display the value of these variables. So to do that, you can say printf. Here we want to display the value of variables like a, comma, b, comma, c. Then here I want to print a value. So a is what type? Integer. So what is the format specifier for integer? %t. So we have to write %t space. Next b. B is what type? Float. So we have to say %f. Third one c, which is of type character. We have to say %c like this. Then the output what we get on screen is the output what we get here 10, 3.14 and p. Let me show this example practically now. Open developer C++. I want to create a new file. So let me say file new source file. So start writing a hash include stdio.h main function. Then let us take the variables like a equal to some 10, float b equal to some 3.14, character c equal to some p. Now I want to print the value of these variables. So to print, just you can say printf. First one %t space, then %f space %c. So the format specifiers should come within double quotes, then say comma and the variable list a, comma, b, comma, c. Now save this file. I am saving it as printf example.c. Save this. Now compile and run. Come to execute, compile and run. So it is displaying the outputs here 10, 3.14 and say p. Now for this 3.14, after 14 it's going with some zeros. But I want to take only 2 digits. After decimal point, I want to take only 2 digits. That means I want to print only 3.14. Then here for this %f, you can say .2f. When you say .2f, once I save and once I compile and run, see now we are getting only 3.14. So what is the meaning of .2f? After decimal point, I want to take only 2 digits. We want to take only 2 digits. If I take .3f, see here, like example, if I take .3f, once I compile and run, see now we are getting, after decimal point, we are getting 3 digits here. So that's the use of this dot symbol, .2f or 3f. If I take 2f, after decimal point, it takes only 2 digits. Clear? Any questions? So anyone having any questions up to here? No. I want to get the output like this. I want to get the output like a equal to 10, comma, b equal to 3.14, comma, c equal to p. We want to get the output like this, means both message come value. So how to write now? Printf a equal to in double quotes, then the value of a %t, comma, b equal to in double quotes, then the value of b value, that is %f float, comma, c equal to %c. Then close the double quotes, then you can go with the variables a, comma, b, comma, c. Then we get the output like this. So whatever we keep it in double quotes, it will print as it is. And wherever we are having the format specifier, it will go to that variable and takes the value of that variable. Let me show you. So A equal to %t, comma, B equal to %2f, comma, C equal to %c. Now see, once we say Control S, execute, compile and run. See, we are getting C here. A equal to 10, comma, B equal to 3.14 and C equal to P. Right? So what we are discussing, like we have seen developer C++. So developer C++ is one of the IDE. So we are started discussing with IDEs. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. And the main use of going with IDE is used to develop applications very easily and rapidly. And the popular C or C++ IDEs are C or C++. They are developer C++. You can even say Dev C++, or you can go with the Turbo C++, Eclipse or Visual Studio Code. Then to go with developer C++, just search in Google Dev C++ download and you can find this link. Once you open this link, you can see download button. Click on download, which is going to download the executable file. That once you run, it's going to install developer C++. Or we can even make use of online C compiler. You can even go with what? Online C compiler. This one. So if I open this link, here only we can type the code. Once we type the code, if you click on run, the output will be visible here only to us. Okay. There. So in my case, I want to make use of developer C++. Then, so just I'm recapping printf function what we discussed yesterday so that I can show practically. So what is the use of printf function? It's a standard output function mainly used to display messages or the value of variables onto the screen. And the syntax is what? Printf message. Just you can say printf and the message. Okay, so see the example. How to create a new file here? Just a file, new source file. Then type the code. We have to type the code. Once we type the code, see here I have printf, welcome, printf, C is a structured programming language. Once we type the code, we have to run this. We have to compile and run. So go to execute, you can see the option compile and run. So once we say compile and run, it's going to open the output screen where it is displaying the messages to us. And what is this /n? We have used it. This is for new line. So to go to new line, we use this /. And to print the value of variables, we have to say printf format specifiers, and format specifier should come in double quotes, comma, and the variable is separated by comma. And these are our format specifiers, like for integer %t, for char %c, for float %f, for string %s. So in tomorrow's session, I'll discuss even string patterns. Like if you're having variables like a, b, c, and I want to print the value of variables means that's a printf %t for a. Since a is of type integer, %t. B is of type float, %f. C is of type character, %c. Right? If you want to go with value, message and value, the message should go within double quotes. See, this is the example. This is the example. So whatever you keep it in double quotes, that will get printed as it is. And wherever we use format specifier, it's going to take the value of it. See here, when we execute this, see, we are getting C, A equal to 10, B equal to 3.14, C equal to P. And what is this dot to F? Dot to F is mainly for what? Dot to F is mainly after decimal point, how many digits you want to display. After decimal point, how many digits you want to display. That's the meaning of dot to F. If I write dot to F, after decimal point, 2 digits. If I say 3F, after decimal point, 3 digits. Clear? Any questions? Let us write one small example program here. Write a program to find sum of, write a program, the one word I'll say WAP, write a program to find sum of given two numbers. I want to find sum of what? Given two numbers. So I'll write here refer program sum.c. So if you open this C programs folder now, there you can see sum.c. So once you open your drive link, which I have shared through WhatsApp channel, in that link you can find our notes and even diagram, source codes, everything. So from today I'm going to even add the folder C programs. This C programs folder I'll be adding where you can see all our programs. Right? So what is our task now? We want to find sum of given two numbers. So we have to take the two numbers first. Then we have to add it. Now what you do? Open developer C++, create a new file. How to create new file? File new source file. What is the task here? To find sum of given two numbers. Now go with hash include stdio.h, then main function, then take variables like int n1 equal to 10, int n2 equal to 5. So instead of these two lines, I can even write in single line also if they are same type. You can say int n1 equal to 10, comma n2 equal to 5. If the variables are of same type, we can separate the variables by comma also instead of two lines. Now the value of n1 is 10, n2 is what? 5. Now find the sum. Sum equal to add the numbers n1 plus n2. Now you can display the message printf sum equal to in double quotes, then %t comma sum. So what is going to print? Sum equal to as it is, then %t. See here, take the variable, one more variable sum. So int sum, then say sum equal to n1 plus n2, then we are printing the sum. So what is sum of 10 plus 5? 15. Now see, once we save it, let me save it as sum.c. Now come to execute and say compile and run. See, it's going to show the result, say sum equal to 15. It's printing sum equal to what? 15. If I change the numbers like 25, something like 15. Now see, come to execute, compile and run. It's now giving say 40. And one more point. If I'm using a variable without declaring, I did not declare sum, but I'm using this variable. Now see what is going to happen. Compile and run. See, it's saying see error, and see what it's saying, sum undeclared. Here this line, sum undeclared. So that is a point what I discussed yesterday, declaration of variable. So without declaring a variable, it won't allocate memory for us. So if it is not allocating memory, I cannot use that variable at all. So we have to declare it. So how to declare? We have to mention the data type and the variable name. So this is the way to declare the variables. So without declaring variable, if I am trying to use it, it goes with error. Right? Now, if I want to find some of other numbers, again we have to provide the numbers here. Then if I say compile and run, it's giving the result. See what is the problem here? Whenever you want to find sum of two numbers, every time you are opening program and changing the values. Is it good one? No. So the end user don't know about the programs at all. The end user will see only the output screen. In the output screen, the end user should take the values. The end user should give the values. So if the user giving the numbers, two numbers, then it should find the sum of it. So whenever you want to accept the input from user, we make use of the function called as standard input function. We go for the function called as what? Standard input function. Scanf. scanf, scan means what? Read. Scanf function is the standard input function. What is standard input device? Keyboard. Standard input function which is used to accept the user input. Which is used to accept the user input. Then scanf function is used to read the values into the variables from keyboard. So from where we can read the values into variables? From keyboard during program execution. The meaning of program execution is runtime. So during runtime, we can take the values from the user. And the syntax is, we have to say scanf, provide the format specifiers within double quotes, then say comma and variable 1, comma and variable 2, comma like that, and variable n. So what is this and symbol is called as address of operator. This and symbol we call address of operator. Now, like example, we are having variables like a, int a, float b, char c. Now, in the previous example, when you have taken this printf, who is giving value to this variable? Programmer only. We are giving the value to the variable. But I want to accept this ABC value from user. So when you want to accept this ABC value from user, then we have to use scanf function like this. Let's say scanf and a, comma and b, comma and c. And a, comma and b, comma and c. Then a is what type? Integer. So we have to say percentage t. B is what type? Float, percentage f. C is what type? Character. So percentage c. So remember, no spaces in between format specifiers. So in the case of scanf, in scanf, when using scanf, no spaces between the format specifiers. Okay, for printf anything, whatever you want we can do, but when I go with scanf, no spaces here. Then what is going to happen over here is, whenever we declare a variable, it's going to allocate memory space for your variable. So when you say int a, then it's going to allocate memory space for a. It's going to allocate what? Memory space for a variable. Float b, again it's going to allocate memory space for b variable. Character c, it's going to allocate memory space for c variable. Now I want to store the value into this memory space. So how to store? Using scanf. So when you say and a, it will go to this address of a. So let me assume address of a is some 100. Address of b is some 200. Address of c is some 300. So when you say and a, it will go to address of a. So when you say and b, it will go to address of b. And c means it will go to address of c. It will go to the respective addresses. Right? So that is the use of and symbol. So that it will go to that address and takes the value. Right? Now, let us come back to this program. In this program, who is giving value to variables? We are giving the value to the variables. Now, I want to accept this n1 value, n2 value from user. Then, for that, let me create a new program again. File new, source file. Here. So, to find sum of given two numbers using scanf now. We are going to make use of scanf to take the data from user. So hash include stdio.h main function. Then take the variables int n1, n2 and even say sum. Now say scanf. I want to take the value to n1 and n2. So scanf percentage t. Since both are integers, percentage t. Say add n1, comma and n2. That's it. We have read the values to n1, n2. Now find sum. Sum equal to n1 plus n2. Now print it. Printf sum equal to percentage t, comma sum. Now save this file. Let me say sum1.c. I'm giving sum1.c. Then say save. Now once I save, now compile and run. Execute, compile and run. See, cursor is blinking because it is waiting for our input. Now I'll say something like 25, press enter key. Again waiting for input. Now I'll say some 65. See, it is saying sum as 90. Now understand carefully. When you run this code, cursor is blinking. How the user knows what value the user has to enter? Difficult, right? Simple example. When you go to ATM machine, the screen is totally blank. The cursor is blinking. How can we know what value to enter? It depends on the message. Like it has to give message, enter amount or enter PIN number like that. So messages are important. So without giving message, how user knows what the user has to enter? Difficult. So that is the reason before we use scanf, before we read some data from user, give the message to the user what user has to enter. So how to give display messages? Printf, go with the message, enter two numbers. Now based on the message, user will have an idea what value to enter. Now save this, execute, compile and run. Now see the message has comes here. Now based on the message, user can provide the values. Now see, we are getting the sum as 1. So how to take user input using scanf, right? So what we have discussed today, mainly about how to go with the developer C++, how to even make use of online C compiler, and we have discussed about standard output function printf and even standard input function scanf. And we'll do some more examples in tomorrow's class. In tomorrow's class, again we'll continue with scanf only, where we discuss more number of examples so that you feel totally comfortable with printf and scanf function, right? So anyone having any questions? So thank you very much and see you tomorrow. Thank you very much.